How to pass the June 2025 Biology Regents question number 33. If a question asks about matter conversions and involves plants and animals, chances are good that they are referring to photosynthesis and respiration. During photosynthesis, plants take in carbon compounds from the atmosphere, which get converted into sugar or glucose in the chloroplasts. When cows and other animals eat the plants, the glucose undergoes respiration in the mitochondria of the cells to produce usable energy in the form of ATP. And as carbon dioxide gets emitted back into the atmosphere, this completes the movement of matter in this carbon cycle. How to pass the June 2025 Biology Regents question number 34. In addition to photosynthesis represented by process A and respiration happening in process B, process C makes nutrients available to plants when organisms die or eliminate waste through the process of decomposition. How to pass the June 2025 Biology Regents question number 35. Even though DNA, proteins, starches, and lipids look and behave completely different from one another, they are all made up of some of the same chemical elements. Those same chemical elements join together in specific ways to create the different building blocks of these larger molecules, like substance 1, which represents glucose, whose molecules join together to make starch. How to pass the June 2025 Biology Regents question number 36. These models illustrate how plants rearrange matter to produce other needed compounds. Starch, for example, is made up of the building block known as glucose, represented here by substance 1, which is made up of the elements carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. During process A, which represents photosynthesis, the elements carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen get rearranged to form glucose and oxygen, both of which are utilized by the plant. How to pass the June 2025 Biology Regents question number 37. When asked to construct an explanation using quantitative evidence, all that really means is to use the numbers provided in the model in your answer. Since plants absorb 123 times 10 to the 15th grams of matter from the atmosphere, but only emit 60 times 10 to the 15th grams of matter overall, they move matter from the atmosphere to the biosphere. How to pass the June 2025 Biology Regents question number 38. The black-tailed prairie dog is a keystone species because it maintains a complex web of relationships in North America's central grassland ecosystem. However, based on the average number of prairie dog burrows, the prairie dog population is on a steady decline thanks to urban development, land conversions, hunting, and the use of poison by farmers. So, in terms of carrying capacity, since these burrows are also used by snakes, owls, and insects, as the number of these prairie dog burrows decreases, the number of burrowing owls the area could support decreases too. How to pass the June 2025 Biology Regents question number 39. The black-tailed prairie dog is a keystone species because it maintains a complex web of relationships in North America's central grassland ecosystem. Since prairie dog burrows also provide homes for snakes, owls, and insects, if the prairie dog population were to decrease, there may be fewer burrows available for many other organisms, validating the claim. Prairie dogs are also the primary prey of the black-footed ferret, an animal on the endangered species list. So if the prairie dog population were to significantly decrease, there would be less food available for the ferret, which could cause it to become extinct, making this claim valid, resulting in a direct decrease in biodiversity. How to pass the June 2025 Biology Regents question number 40. While fluctuations in a population are normal, drastic changes could be a sign of some kind of natural selection, and in this case, in response to the sylvatic plague caused by bacteria that targets prairie dogs. Even though the prairie dog population declined between years 1 and 2 and years 7 and 8, it was able to recover thanks to members in the population that had protective variations and so were able to survive and reproduce. How to pass the June 2025 Biology Regents question number 41. Normal fluctuations in a population, in this case, prairie dogs in South Dakota, depend on a variety of factors. Factors that keep the population from dropping substantially include having a roof over your head and being well fed. Factors that keep the population from increasing substantially include winding up dead. And where these lines meet in the middle is defined as the carrying capacity. How to pass the June 2025 Biology Regents question number 42. A disease known as the sylvatic plague is caused by a bacterium that is carried by fleas on rats and targets prairie dogs. Two methods of controlling the plague are through vaccinations and burrow dusting, each with their own pros and cons. After factoring in the location and surrounding areas, we need to decide on the best method to protect the prairie dogs from the plague without negatively impacting nearby areas. So, whichever method you choose, make sure to back it up with specific evidence from the table as it relates to cost, safety, or reliability. When it comes to burrow dusting, insecticide is sprayed inside the prairie dog burrows where it should not affect the cattle living on the range. And since some burrows might be missed with burrow dusting, vaccinations will be the most reliable method since prairie dogs will seek out the peanut butter flavored tablets. How to pass the June 2025 Biology Regents question number 43. When it comes to nature versus nurture for a developing baby, nature means that the baby gets its genes from both parents, and those genes are made up of DNA, not proteins. Nature refers to how those genes get expressed based on external environmental factors. Ultimately, the baby ends up being a combination of its genetic info and the environment it is raised in. How to pass the June 2025 Biology Regents question number 44. Although women that were pregnant during a food shortage may have given birth to healthy weighing babies, those children went on to have obesity and other health problems later on in life, potentially as a result of a mutation in the section of DNA that codes for the hormone called insulin like growth factor 2. When DNA makes a copy of itself, the DNA bases get converted into RNA according to the following base pair rules. C goes with G, G goes with C, T goes with A, and while A goes with T in DNA, in RNA, A goes with U. These triplets are called codons because they code for the production of specific amino acids based on the following chart. So when GAG turns into GAC, aspartic acid is included in the protein instead of glutamic acid. How to pass to June 2025 Biology Regents question number 45. Although women that were pregnant during a food shortage may have given birth to healthy weighing babies, those children went on to have obesity and other health problems later on in life, potentially as a result of a mutation in the section of DNA that codes for the hormone called insulin like growth factor 2. When DNA makes a copy of itself, the DNA bases get converted into RNA in a process called transcription. However, transcription may or may not occur depending on the process of methylation. Since IGF-2 codes for a hormone that promotes fetal growth, the children of the famine had less methylation of this gene than is typical of other children. Therefore, more IGF-2 is transcribed when DNA is unmethylated, so more growth hormone is made. How to pass the June 2025 Biology Regents question number 46. Although women that were pregnant during a food shortage may have given birth to healthy weighing babies, those children went on to have obesity and other health problems later on in life, most likely due to methylation issues with their DNA. When researchers tracked the health of the children of the famine and their offspring for many years, the researchers showed similar results in their offspring. This evidence best supports the claim that methylation levels of DNA can be inherited over many generations despite a lack of exposure to famine. How to pass to June 2025 Biology Regents question number 47. Besides famine during pregnancy, Other environmental factors, such as smoking nicotine, can cause demethylation of portions of DNA responsible for cell division. Therefore, it is safe to say that smoking can lead to demethylation, which increases cell division and may form tumors. Add a pass to June 2025 Biology Regents, question number 48. Besides famine during pregnancy, other environmental factors such as smoking nicotine can cause demethylation of portions of DNA responsible for cell division. So, if increasing DNA demethylation leads to increased tumor growth, then using medication to add methyl groups to the genes that cause an increase in cell division could be used to decrease tumor growth.